So now we move on to the details on the migration process and the point system. To give you this information, we have with us Mr. Bandula Abeysinghe, attorney at law and regulated Canadian immigration consultant with over 21 years of experience in the field. Mr. Bandula, over to you.
Hello, everybody, and very good evening to all of you. Hope you all are doing well despite the long lockdown, and hopefully we will be seeing some light at the end of the tunnel come this October 1st, and with some good signs of us getting out of this pandemic situation. In fact, Canada is almost out of the woods already, actually tackling this problem professionally as well as actually scientifically. Mr. Amal Ratnayaka, I think he should bear witness to that, and they all enjoyed this summer very well, going on trips and all these things. So life is almost back to normal. Hopefully it would stay the same. Now you are thinking of moving to a country like that. That's a G7 country, very strong, with very strong economy. Okay, actually, just give me few seconds, maybe about 1 minute, to give a brief introduction about myself. Actually, I first moved to Canada in 1990, and also we started ours is the first ever immigration law firm in Sri Lanka. We have had so many clients all over the world, but at the moment, because of the demand, there's not so many I can handle. So because of that, we now have limited ourselves to only Canadian migration, basically, and also some student visas selectively, and also some business visa programs. And we actually, through this visa programs, we are selecting visa programs based on the past, like 1 year, about 18 months patterns, selection thresholds, and also the behaviors of the programs, and seeing the practical realities of the programs. Only we select the programs for Sri Lankans because we want to deliver results, not just making an application or submitting a profile into the pool. We want our clients to get the visa, I mean the desired result, that is permanent resident visa in Canada. Now this program and all the programs we are dealing with at the moment, they will lead to Canadian permanent resident visa, and you are going into Canada with permanent resident visa, not a temporary visa, not a regional visa. You can go to anywhere, even downtown Toronto, the main city, and except for the province of Quebec, where the main city is Montreal. So this is a very, very solid program, and especially the express entry program has been solid and consistent. Canada has not moved the goalpost when you are about to kick the goal. So 7 years almost, January 2015, they introduced the new rules, and since then they have actually relaxed some parameters. However, the demand is higher. Sometimes the demand pushes the selection thresholds a bit higher, but we have to maneuver according to the changes, and that's our expertise, in fact. So let me give you the details about the program. Before that, these are the equivalencies of CIMA credentials in Canadian terms, that is advanced diploma. Actually, just forget about this scores I have given. I will relate it to the migration program later. Actually, advanced diploma is 1 year certificate level, and 2 years diploma level, and past finalist and ACME level is 3 year bachelor degree level, and also only the past finalist 3 year bachelor degree, and ACMA is 4 year bachelor degree level. So accordingly, actually you get points in this system. Now you can see, like, I will give you the other requirements that you should meet, but in terms of the qualification, you get less marks advanced diploma only, and ACME or past finalist only, you get a little bit more. advanced diploma plus a bachelor degree. If you have a bachelor degree or another 3-year diploma, then you get a little, higher. And also ACMA or pass finalist with 1 year another qualification, whatever qualification could be recognized qualification, it has to be recognized by Canada. Then you get 462 marks in the express entry program. Now, express entry is the program under which we submit the application. It's a file management system of Canadian Immigration Canada department. So now express entry selection thresholds in 2020, because since 23rd December 2020, we haven't, these selections are on a pause at the moment because of the COVID situation. Now that the Canada, is getting out of this pandemic and want to press ahead with their development programs, and also very fresh from the election, I think day before yesterday, and we are expecting the selections to resume soon, at least within the 1 or 2 months, maybe even earlier. Now to give you an idea for like whether you can meet these requirements to get the PR. Now it is, let me mention something very clearly. Now, anybody can apply, anybody is eligible to apply with even like 6 each IELTS, a lower level, even advanced diploma, just 1 diploma. But it is just like, the applying to enter Sri Lankan University with 3 A-level classes, but you need a higher score to get the university selection. Likewise, to get the PR, you need a higher bar. You have to meet a higher bar. Now, the latest one we had was December 2020 was 468 marks. Now you have to score 468, but we are expecting this to go a bit higher in the future, at least in 470s. We are expecting, unless they give like bigger draws, bigger numbers, if they draw from the pool, it would hopefully, will stay in 470s, or sometimes it could go into 480s as well. But we are expecting it to be in 470s, but I cannot guarantee that. It all depends on the demand and supply. Supply is the same. Supply in the sense the number of people taken into Canada has been increased. So, however, the number of applicants are increasing, because that pushes the threshold up. So basically, for direct selection, you need to be ideally in 470s in the future, unless something drastic happens. Okay. Then also tier 2 program. Now you can have less marks, like say you can see 458 also good enough. This is Ontario program. And also now that we have to be in 470s or 460s, ideally, for one of those programs. So we are likely to have, ACMA pass finalist plus 1 year another qualification could be good enough, because you can go up to 460s. But ideally, a master's degree would give you the maximum points other than a PhD in terms of your qualification. Now, for a CIMA qualified, pass finalist or an ACMA, you can obtain a master's degree in 8 months studying part-time. There are pathways for that while you've been in Sri Lanka, sometimes maybe a mixture of online as well as in class part-time studies. There's a shorter pathway for masters, so that you can get the maximum practical points for your education. Now let me go into the other requirements. Now basically, let me run through the age categories. The best programs, the possibility of success is higher if you are below 30, and then age below 32, so the second tier program, that's Ontario program, and also even up to 45 years, that Saskatchewan immigration nominee program with French knowledge. So you have to learn some French on part-time. So I'll give you more details about that. And about 45 years also, I mean, in theory, you are eligible. I mean, there's no age limit for this program. But what would happen is, when you go about 29 years, when you turn 30, you are losing points for the age factor. So then, we have to compensate for that loss of points if you are above 29 by probably achieving higher IELTS, I mean, English language points. Likewise, so this is the formula. We have to assess everybody's each and every candidate's situation according to their background details. Now, age below 30 actually are the ideal ones. If you have 3 years of work experience, you get the maximum number of points for your work within the last 10 years. And IELTS at least 8 for listening and 7 each, and master's degree. But I must say that if you can, get a little bit higher, like 8.5 listening, 8 for reading, and 7.5 each, and you can get the maximum for the language. But at least we are expecting 8 for listening and 7 each. And also a master's degree to get, actually, with that you will get, remember I mentioned that 469 marks with, like if you have actually improved your qualification up to master's level, then you will have 469 with 8 for listening and 7 each. But if you get 8.5 for listening, then you can add another 3 points. If you get 8 for reading, you can add another 3 points. And if you get 7.5 for writing, another 3 points. Likewise, you can add another 12 points, and you can go up to 481 marks. Remember, I mentioned that latest available selection threshold was 468. So 481, according to that threshold, is a mark that definitely you will get the selection to apply. That is called invitation to apply for Canadian permanent resident visa. Now, if you are about 29 but below 32, then actually you are highly likely to be eligible under the Ontario nominee program, that is called OINP. And for this, actually, there is a demand occupation list. Now, let me go back to the previous below 30, that category. Actually, any work experience, any skilled work experience is eligible. No matter whether you are a bookkeeper or accountant or a top manager, it's a level playing field. You get the same number of points for work as long as you get 3 years of work experience, that which you should prove with proper documentation. Now, however, for Ontario program, you need occupation in demand that you must have worked at least 1 year within the last 5 years in one of those demand occupations. And actually, it is available in our website as well. We can't give that much details of that. And then anyway, accountants are also financial managers are on the list. We'll get more details about that in that. Also, as I mentioned, if you are above 45, only with a job offer you can be successful in this endeavor. Yeah, and also articling students also may be eligible. So we have to assess that whether we can consider that. And also, as I mentioned, the practical maximum, anybody applying from overseas, in the sense, when you consider Canada, Sri Lanka is overseas, then you can get, if you are single applicant, 481, and married applicant, if the spouse has qualifications, and if the spouse can get high IELTS, 484. And if you have a brother or sister in Canada, you could add another 15 points as well. And also there are other ways, as I mentioned, like, getting like 8.5 listening, 8 reading, 7.5 speaking, 7. That would add another 12 points, I mean, additional points. That's a maximum. And also, learning French would add, if you can get the B2 level, that is CLB level 7, which is equivalent to 6 each in IELTS, like. So if you can add very important 62 points. And actually, if you are committed, really committed, we have some clients who have done that. 3 hours online you have to study with a tutor, and at least 4 hours self-studies per week. You have to make a real commitment, then you can add 62 critical points and make a huge change to your profile, and it could very well lead to the PR in Canada. Sometimes with some other programs, you don't have to study 1.5 years. Like if it is SINP, I mean the Saskatchewan program, even sometimes 7 months may well be enough depending on your background. So we have to assess the individual applicant for that. This is actually some related occupations I have given in this relating to your field. You have to have at least 1 year experience in one of these occupations within the last 5 years to be eligible for Ontario program. So the other way is if you are age below 40, this is another direct way. If you have a master's and 8 for listening and 7 each other bands at least, and if you get higher bands, you will get more points, and 3 years work experience and French B2 level, again, which is equivalent to like 6 each in IELTS. Then according to the program we are doing, that you have to study for 1.5 years and sit a test, just like an IELTS test. There's a test, it's called TCF Canada or TEF Canada. So then you have to prove that you have the French B2 level. Then even up to age 40, according to the current thresholds, you would be eligible to get an ITA, that is invitation to apply for permanent resident visa. Saskatchewan program, even up to 45 years, ideally below 40, because there are some practical situations that we would like to have people below 40, but even up to 45, below 45, you can apply with the same number of points. However, the financial auditors and accountants are not on their demand list. Financial managers and most other categories, I mean, a lot of categories are on the demand list. And IELTS requirement is a bit low. That is 7.5 listening and 6.5 each other 3 bands. Learning French, 7 months, most of the time you will have to do that. Sometimes, depending on your age and other background details, you may have to study a bit longer. Okay, and a lot of people are asking about this AIPP thing, job offers, and let me give you some details about that. AIPPO and AIPP is a PNP. That's a provincial nomination program. If you can get a provincial nomination, you can add 600 points. Then if you have like 350 points or 400 points at the moment, you can add 600, then it would go above 1,000 points, and it's a definite recipe for success. Now, getting that Saskatchewan program and Ontario program, actually, if you get those nominations, then you are adding 600 points. This AIPP program, I have seen many YouTubers and talking about this with A levels and the basic qualification, basic English, you can do that, but without a job offer, you cannot apply for that Atlantic Immigration Pilot. This is AIP. So because of that, it is like that's under a stock because you have to get a job offer. So getting a job offer is not like getting a letter from an employer. So it is a long process. Actually, if you go to our YouTube and Facebooks and immigration, you can see long videos about these programs, how what is a job offer and all these details, if you are really interested in those details, because we have limited time and we should go into the Q&A session. Yeah, that's basically all about it in a nutshell, the program. And also with this, as I mentioned, you can get the permanent resident visa. Permanent resident visa, you have to, in order for you to maintain the permanent resident visa, you should be in Canada 730 days within every 5 years. That is about 2 years. It does not have to be continuous. So after, now, if you have lived in Canada for 730 days, it could be like many times you can move out of Canada, go to other countries and come back, but total 730 days, then you can get the permanent resident visa for another 5 years. there's another way to get this, make it permanent. That is after, within 5 years, within the preceding 5 years, if you have lived in Canada at least for 3 years, that's also not, it does not have to be continuous. 3 years, then you are eligible to apply to get the Canadian citizenship. Once you have got the citizenship, then you can apply for dual citizenship as well. Then, as you can stay out of Canada as many years as you want and return to Canada without any issue because you are a citizen. And the difference between a citizen and a permanent resident is nothing much. You cannot vote. I mean, if you are a permanent resident only, and also some high security jobs, you cannot, most of the time, you cannot get them. Other than that, all the benefits, everything is just the same for permanent residents as well. And just to give you an insight about that, now we through us recently we had a student going into the University of Toronto, and the course fee for 1 year, it's a 4-year program, was about 75 lakhs, about 7.5 million, it's about I think 53 or $4,000 Canadian. And the same program, if she was a Canadian citizen or a permanent resident, that would have cost her only about 13, 14, probably even less than that, with grants, and even that is also facilitated if you don't have much income through Canadian government study loans also. So that's the difference. If you are an international student, you have to pay like 3 times or 4 times higher. So that kind of lots of benefits are there for the permanent residents and the citizens. And also, you don't have to be, I mean, if you are an accountant in Sri Lanka, there is nothing prevents you from changing your career. Also, and I think Mr. Amal Ratnaik must have enlightened you in that regard. Now, most probably you cannot become an accountant right away in Canada. However, maybe you can find a job in a lower level in the same field, like a bookkeeper or an accounting technician, according to their NOC, that occupation categories. I think he's the better source for that. And then you can work your way into your preferred position equivalent to Sri Lankan level. Or you can totally change your career. There are study programs, even the government assistance grants are given for permanent residents. You can totally change your career, or you can move into a business. That kind of things are available as a permanent resident in Canada. Yeah, so more details actually, please visit our YouTube channel, Zenith Immigration, and also the Facebook. Anyway, these are actually given according to the current thresholds, and as I mentioned, the criteria. These things could change. So we update everything especially in our Facebook, and also more longer videos are in the YouTube. And if you connect to them, then you can get more updates. And also, I think Hassanji will facilitate you getting more details, maybe through an email from us, more details about all these programs. And yeah, that's basically all about it. And I thank CIMA Institute in Sri Lanka for giving us this opportunity. Yeah, thank you very much. And I hope to see you all in Canada someday sooner, hopefully within next year. And if you are really committed, you can do that. If you fall into those categories, definitely. But sometimes you have to make some sacrifices, some commitment, real commitment. If you ever have to do some French, you have to do that. But it is worth. We have seen that it's worth making that kind of sacrifice, commitment. Okay, all the best.